Hi everyone, I'm Stan from Eagle Vision. I'm here with Dr Jamie Sherrah. Jamie, welcome.
Thank you.
Dr Jamie Sherrah has over 25 years in artificial intelligence work and computer vision. He's very passionate about creating some of these systems that right now have just taken the world and the internet by a bit of a storm. So I really wanted to catch up with Jamie and have a chat about some of the tools available and where property development may go within the next 6 months to 12 months in utilising these systems. So Jamie, first off, can you give a little bit of a summary to just some of the general terms and what we're dealing with, provided that we're not computer scientists?
Sure. Yeah, so everybody knows artificial intelligence. We've all watched movies with killer robots and computers that take over the world or learn for themselves. So we have preconceived ideas about what AI is. AI means something specific in the research field, more about automated reasoning systems.
Yep.
And there's also machine learning, which is about more a statistical branch of AI, about learning models from data. And computer vision is like the imagery side of that, and also includes a lot of visual geometry, technical stuff. But in the last 10 years or so, machine learning has really come along, particularly with a methodology called deep learning, about these deep artificial neural networks. And in the public sphere, that machine learning and deep learning has become synonymous with AI, and people just use the term AI.
Yeah, as a general thing. And really, as soon as ChatGPT sort of got released in a way to the public in November, it's only been 2 months, but it's had a massive uptake of just everybody trying it and doing all kinds of different things with it. What is an intelligent way to actually manage some of these systems?
I think the reason it's taken off so quick is the implementation's really good. It's very accessible and very general. And it is as easy as just really making an account and trying it out with whatever idea you have. There are other systems as well, like Midjourney, DALL-E 2, that allow you to generate images from text. So you can have an idea for just an image you want to generate and even give it the style, the kind of artist, the kind of lighting and rendering you want, and be very specific about those things, and it can come up with some amazing, realistic looking images as well.
Which sort of brings us to this term called prompt engineering, because often, and we've played around with some of these tools, and the output is really what we actually intend it to be. So is there a way, and is there something that's in general can apply to across all of them?
Yeah. In terms of getting what you want, it is generally an iterative process, and ChatGPT allows you to ask for corrected versions and explain how it arrived at that answer and things like that, which is pretty cool. But generally, the way these models work is that there's been a very large data set. If we take, for the imagery example, of images and captions, and then it's learned to correlate those image features with those words. And something kind of amazing has happened by scaling this up in a large way. The algorithms have these kind of emergent properties that have learned some kind of internal algorithms that nobody knows or understands, where it's able to superimpose different concepts linguistically.
Combine them together.
So because it's come from, a data set with text and everything like that, using different words might give you different results, even though it's the same thing. So if you said a teddy bear playing golf on the moon, if you wrote, it's a moonscape and there's some toy bears playing golf, you might get totally different results, even though to us that means the same thing, but just the wording of it. So that's generated this concept of prompt engineering, of trying to come up with the right wording to give you the results you want. And it's the same people have found with ChatGPT as well. There might be some guardrails that OpenAI have put in there to say, we don't want you to do this kind of thing, like give financial advice. And people have found workarounds with the prompt and say, explain this to me, as if you were this role or something like that, and that can get around with some of the more direct questions.
So it's kind of hard to set these guardrails up because humans create ways around.
Yeah. And that's, the power of the flexibility of the model is also its weakness in that area.
Sure, absolutely. So look, for property developers across, their main interest is in how can these tools help them increase their profitability. So are there any particular ways immediately to help with that?
Yeah, so ChatGPT can be quite good for brainstorming and coming up with ideas.
And we'll talk a lot more about that in the research part of these videos. Really, we just want to cover the overall general concepts and perhaps some of the tools that are available, because really for property developers, it's the risk-return ratio on using some of these tools, investing the time, and then coming up with something that's going to be useful.
Yeah. Okay.
So have you got a particular case study that you may think of where some of these tools have been applied to help a property developer achieve a better result?
I can think of some ideas for how it could be used. For example, I have a friend who's a property developer, and he ran into some problems in Canada with weather and them not being able to pour concrete. And those delays in the building then affected what was happening financially with the timing of his loans. And that seems like an area where we could use past data, historical weather data, and data from past developments, and use all of that with machine learning to make predictions about the future and what the likelihood of different occurrences are, and try to model and predict the risk in a very detailed way.
Right, okay. But would that be a custom application that developer would need to build, or could they use some of the generally available tools like ChatGPT to feed that data into that machine and say, right, generate a result based on this?
I think ChatGPT would be a little too generic for that case. And we're talking about a lot of numeric data as well, and so that probably would require a bespoke solution, but it might be bespoke for that setup, but then generally applicable to property developers.
Other systems.
With machine learning, a lot of the work, like 80% of the work, is really about getting the data in the right form and, kind of massaging and getting the data ready, and then using the algorithms can be fairly straightforward. And
is access to data a challenge?
Yeah, it can be. Sometimes the data you want is not readily available. For example, on another project, it's been quite difficult to get hold of overhead imagery. It seemed like something that would be, pretty easy to switch on, but it's actually a lot more complicated than that to access.
So the application of some of these tools may then be limited by access to really valuable and useful data, whereas some of the general tools that are there, maybe they're better for concept generation or ideation of different ideas.
But if you can get that data, then that's a huge advantage for you. It's something that your competitors don't have, and sets you apart.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Look, what we're going to do is we'll talk about three particular themes. So one will be research and how self-learning or machine learning tools can be used for that. The next one will be actual content generation and maybe some of the tools that we can work with that. And lastly, we'll talk about optimization, because development is a very long process. So if anywhere optimization can be applied, it'll hopefully lead to better profitability for the project. So look, Jamie, thank you for this. We'll get a lot more into detail in the next one. Thanks so much.